not looking again for perfection, but we are looking for progress. Look at your neighbor and say, someone's counting on me. That's what I want you to get that person on your mind right now. Maybe you've been overlooking them. And realize maybe you have to call, text them, invite them to church, have them come with you. Maybe you need to apologize. Maybe you need to have a conversation. But I want you to get that person on your mind right now, because what we're going to be doing these last 4 weeks that we've been talking is about getting our anchor solidified. You want your anchor solidified? These are the type of scriptures, this is the type of teaching that you need. Right? Psalm 73 verse 17 says, this is Asaph talking after he realized that he was about to go down and disrupt all the church. It says, until I entered the sanctuary of God, then I understood their final destiny. He's talking about the enemies that he was looking at. He says, till I entered the sanctuary of God, then I understood their final destiny. My point number 2 is that someone is calling you. See, he was saying I was headed down the wrong way until I paused and I thought about the responsibilities of my actions. And then guess what? Then he paused. He realized that he could not go down that path. He was going down a bad path. Then he found himself inside the sanctuary of God. And things became so clear. See, because when we make the good things primary in our life, they have taken the place of God's position where God's position should be in our life. It becomes an idol. The question I have to you today, because we've been talking about how to become anchored, is what does your schedule say about your relationship with the Lord? The very first week we launched this service, I told everyone there's over 874 hours in this leap year. I said, this church here is only asking you for 350. And I said, what is your schedule going to say about your commitment to the Lord this year? My prayer is that you make God a priority, a non-negotiable priority in your life. And here's the thing, you do that, watch what happens. Watch how God moves. Because the purpose is to put things in proper alignment. That's what you want. You want your life in proper alignment. Your heart gets sick, your eyes get unfocused, your thoughts get fuzzy when you're not in proper alignment. Now that you get up every day with an expectation for God to move on your behalf, you have to go ahead and set the day. You have to be very intentional about what your day is going to look like. Before my feet hit the ground, I wake up, I open my Bible, I read my Bible saying, God, I know that this day is not promised because someone didn't get it. Lord, I know that you have me on assignment, so my eyes are going to be open, my ears are going to be ready, and my obedience is going to be immediate, Lord. So before I get caught up with the hustle and bustle, before I look on social media, before I turn on the news and get so and see all the dysfunction that we have in the world, I have to make sure that I am ready to do what it is that you have for me, because somebody's going to need me. There's going to be a call that only I'm going to be able to meet, Lord, and you're going to give me the wisdom, the resources, the knowledge, and the capability to be able to meet that need. But we have to be in position, in proper alignment. And this is how you get in proper alignment. Because every day I wake up knowing, guess what? Somebody's counting on me. If it's no more than my wife or my kids, people in the community, people at my job, someone is going to be counting on us. And church is important because it tells you not only who you are, but it tells you whose you are. Psalm 122:1 says, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I rejoiced with those who said to me, let us go into the house. That's how excited you should be about your kingdom assignment. And every day you say, no, I have an opportunity. Realizing for me to come and get refueled, get charged up, so that way I can go out and do what God has called me to do. You want to see purpose in your life? You want to reach a level of enrichment and satisfaction in your life? You get about the Father's business. See, I've done some really great things in my life. I've won a lot of awards in my life, but there's not a level of joy and peace and satisfaction and enrichment that I have in my life now that I'm tapped into the purpose that I have. So it doesn't matter who's here or who's not here. Every day I wake up on assignment. So if there's one person or 1,000 people, if it's helping somebody with a backpack or somebody with diapers, I realize that I have an opportunity and I should be joyful because it is a privilege and an honor to serve God. You become anchored. This is what allowed Asaph to get re-anchored, because he realized who you are but whose you are. You become anchored when this becomes non-negotiable. See, this is the place where you're going to find your truth. This is where you're going to be a lighthouse in troubling times. This is where you're going to get your clarity. This is where you get anchored. This is where you get your instruction. This is going to be where you get your correction. This is going to be the place that's going to encourage you to grow, where it's going to change your perspective and you're going to see things differently. See, we're great at minimizing our own faults while we maximize the faults of others. That's another topic that I'll preach on another day. But in the sanctuary of God, it leads us to a new level of maturity where it's not about who's next to me. It's about me fulfilling the plan that God has for my life. I can't be so concerned about someone else who's not doing what they need to do. I just need to be obedient what God has for me. I'm not moved by petty things. I embrace my purpose. See, this is the place where you come and you still believe even when you can't see it. This is where you get the consistency in your life. This is where you get the stability in your life. This is where you come to get anchored because the enemy is out there on the prowl looking to steal, kill, and destroy. That's the reason why we have to be anchored. It's an opportunity for us to spend time with our family. Church is not just a building, but a family. A community of sons and daughters and spiritual fathers and mothers. We are a body fitly joined together, what Scripture tells us that. This is the place where we come for our spiritual enrichment. And when the church is healthy, guess what? That means everyone is operating and every need is met. And purpose is being fulfilled. So 4 weeks ago, we launched this service. We launched this service because this is what Restoring Hope is all about. 18 years ago, when my parents launched this church, just a few people in their house, they didn't really see this moment right here, but God saw it. Saying this is what we want. We want to encourage people to be all that they can be, to fulfill their God-given assignment. But when the church is healthy, guess what? If the church is healthy, the family is healthy. When the family is healthy, the community is healthy. The community gets healthy, then this nation gets healthy. The nation gets healthy, and it's just a trickle-down effect. And guess what? It only starts with one person answering that call. Stand up and say, you know what? Not somebody should do something, but God, I will do something. This is the place where we're going to be reminded to remain hopeful. A healthy church. We want to be a healthy church, where we trust God for His presence. We trust God for His provision. We trust God for His power. We trust God for His position. But here's most importantly, and I'm going to start leaving with this. Trust God for His peace. So, someone's counting on you. And someone's calling out to you. And my appeal to you today is that we have to realize that we have to get that clarity. But the response ultimately is up to you. Because I know how God works in my life. And when God is calling, sometimes it's just a small whisper. Not understanding what the plan and the purpose is. Because it doesn't always make sense. God, why are you telling me to jump? I don't want to jump. I'm afraid to jump. And that's why He talks about walking by faith. Because He realized that if you could do it in your own strength, you would have already done it. But when you talk about doing great things and really making a difference in the world, it's jumping out there in something that's even bigger than you, saying, God, I trust you. But here's the thing. In Hebrews chapter 3, verse 7 through 8, it says, so as the Holy Spirit says, today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your heart. It says, as you did in rebellion during the times of testing in the wilderness. The wilderness is talking about the people of Israel when they were going through that, and every time they were faced with a challenge, they forgot about the last thing that God had already done for them. Looking for perfection again, not realizing the progress that they had made. The things that God had already done. So how do you know if you're hearing the voice of God? Because there's something stirring on the inside of you saying that there has to be more. People always ask me all the time, Pastor, I don't understand how you do it. I don't understand how you do it. I don't understand, because there's something on the inside of me saying there has to be more. And there has to be more that realizes I can't do it in my own strength. That means that God's going to have to equip me and help me do this. So this is what we are as a church body. Saying, Lord, I'm ready. Lord, I'm listening. And they call it a step of faith because we're entering a season that we've never seen before. But our prayer here is that we want to make a relationship with Jesus attainable. Number 2, He wants a relationship with you. Number 3, He wants to use your life in your story to do great things. Not just here in the church, but also in the community. So if you don't get anything from this, I just want you to remember these two things. There's somebody counting on you. You're saying, well, Pastor, I've been invited to church. I've been doing, they just don't want to come. But then guess what? That means that may be your assignment. Because there's some people that we need to reach. Guess what? That are not going to be inside these four walls of the church. Church looks so much different than it did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You know, this is the most unchurched generation that's ever existed right now that we're living in. We're in a time where everyone, you can stream your favorite pastor. You can do all that. It's a microwave society where if you want it, you can get it by a push of a button. And that causes us, the church, our message doesn't change, but guess what? Our message has to change. And the dad to go out there and reach those, because we realize that if someone has to tell them, and guess what? That someone may be you, because they're counting on you.